Did you know it's okay to test a relationship? I believe the servant in this text tested the relationship with a question of the heart, just like the girl with the roses. You see, she tested the heart of Joe to see if it would have mattered what she looked like, who she was. In the same way, Rebecca, when the servant encountered her, was looking at a question of the heart. Oh, her beauty was a bonus. I'm sure her relatives were really nice, and the fodder for the camels was fun. But Rebecca's generous heart was what he used as a true indicator of who the woman God would have had for Isaac. How do you test relationships? Especially for those of you in dating relationships. How do you test relationships? Really, any relationship that you're going to invest yourself in, you may want to test the heart of that person. How will you do it? And what will you look for? Let's read on in verses 28 through 38 to see what the result of this testing was. The girl ran and told her mother's household about these things. Now Rebekah had a brother named Laban, and he hurried out to the man at the spring. As soon as he had seen the nose ring and the bracelets on his sister's arm and heard Rebekah tell what the man had said to her, he went out to the man and found him standing by the camels near the spring. Come, you who are blessed by the Lord, he said. Why are you standing out here? I have prepared the house and a place for your camels. So the man went to the house, and the camels were unloaded. The straw and the fodder were brought for the camels, and the water for him and his men to wash their feet. Then food was set before him. But he said, I will not eat until I have told you what I have to say. Tell us, Laban said. So he said, I am Abraham's servant. The Lord has blessed my master abundantly, and he has become wealthy. He has given him sheep and cattle, silver and gold, men servants and maid servants, and camels and donkeys. My master's wife Sarah has borne him a son in her old age, and he has given him everything he owns. And my master made me swear an oath. He said, you must not get a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites in whose land I live, but go to my father's family and to my own clan and get a wife for my son. Fill in blank number 3. Laban hears about being blessed. Laban hears about being blessed. This shoots us straight into Adam. Do we know the stories of God's blessing in our families and in our church? Do we know the stories of blessing even in our communities? And do we tell them again and again? Are we known as people who share the stories of blessings in our lives? And do we invite others into a life of blessing? You need to understand, verses 39 through 48, I'm not going to read, because it's basically instant replay of everything that had happened up to that point. But the servant was excited about telling about the blessings that God had given him and his master. He wanted to tell the story. In fact, he loved to tell the story. And that reminds me of a hymn. If you want to grab your blue book, it's $3.98. I'm wondering if this is a story, if this is a hymn that characterizes us as a people. We're not going to sing it. I'm just going to read you the words, but it's $3.98. I love to tell the story. Just listen to the words. I love to tell the story of unseen things above, of Jesus and his glory, of Jesus and his love. I love to tell the story because I know it's true. It satisfies my longings as nothing else could do. I love to tell the story. It will be my theme in glory. To tell the old story of Jesus and his love. I love to tell the story. 'Tis pleasant to repeat what seems each time I tell it more wonderfully sweet. I love to tell the story, for some have never heard the message of salvation from God's own holy word. Last verse, I love to tell the story, for those who know it best seem hungering and thirsting to hear it like the rest. And when in scenes of glory I sing the new song, 'twill be that old story that I have loved so long. I love to tell the story. 'Twill be my theme in glory to tell the old story of Jesus and his love. The servant was excited because God was doing something in his midst. And not only with him, but with his master. Are we excited about the stories? Are we excited about the stuff that God is doing in our midst, and do we tell people about it? Because unless we tell people about it, unless we tell people about how God is changing us and moving in us and blessing us, why would people ever want to be a part of us? Why would people ever want to know who Jesus is if he isn't blessing us and he isn't giving us a life that gives us joy? But do we share it? What are the stories that we love to tell? Because the stories that we tell are what characterize us. Now, as I said, I am going to jump over 39 through 48. If you want to read it a little later, you can. But it is some play-by-play of what we have already seen and heard. So verses 39 through 48, we're going to jump over. I'm going to take you straight to 49 through 67.